Why the Browns won't part with Shedeur Sanders. How they'll try to trade for a left tackle. Browns Insider. The Browns have no plans to part ways with Shedeur Sanders. Cleveland, Ohio. Was Shedeur Sanders sending a message on Thursday that he'd like a change of scenery with some of the remarks he made? In addition to, "I know I'm capable of doing better than the quarterback play in the league right now," he also told ESPN Cleveland in that interview that, "It's obvious a lot of teams would be playing me, but that's not in God's plan right now." The Cleveland Browns find themselves at a crossroads familiar to every NFL franchise that dreams big yet understands the thin margins of roster construction. On one hand, they have Shedeur Sanders, a rookie quarterback who brings not only on-field promise but also an aura of celebrity, pedigree, and competitive fire. On the other hand, they are staring at an offensive line issue that has been simmering for months, an urgent need at left tackle that could define the ceiling of this season and beyond. What follows is a deep insider-style exploration of why the Browns will not, under any circumstances, part ways with Sanders, and how their focus instead will shift toward leveraging assets, creativity, and boldness to secure a cornerstone left tackle. Chapter 1. The Shedeur Sanders Factor. 1.1 The Face of the Future. When the Browns drafted Shedeur Sanders, they weren't just drafting a quarterback. They were drafting an identity. His father, Deion Sanders, had already cultivated a brand of relentless visibility at Colorado, making Shedeur as much a media story as a football one. Cleveland saw the opportunity. If Shedeur's game caught up with his aura, they'd have a generational lightning rod at quarterback. Letting go of such a player after only months in the league? It would be a football sin. Teams don't throw away quarterbacks with this blend of hype and potential. Especially not the Browns, who have spent decades looking for someone to claim the mantle that Bernie Kosar once held. 1.2 The Rookie Spark. Even in his uneven starts, Sanders has shown flashes. Quick reads, calm pocket demeanor, a laser-accurate short passing game. Coaches rave about his work ethic, teammates admire his confidence, and fans, though divided, remain glued to every snap. Yes, mistakes have come. Yes, he's made comments that rubbed veterans the wrong way. But the organization views that as growing pains, not red flags. Trading him now would send the message that Cleveland still hasn't learned how to nurture a young quarterback. 1.3 The Business of Shedeur. There's also the business angle. Shedeur jerseys sell. His presence boosts primetime ratings. Even ESPN and NFL Network producers know that when Shedeur plays, there's a narrative to follow. Ownership in Cleveland, long sensitive to relevance, understands that the quarterback is not just a position, it's an investment in visibility. Sanders provides that in spades. Chapter 2. Why Left Tackle Matters. 2.1 Protecting the Prize. If the Browns refuse to part ways with Sanders, they must commit to protecting him. Already this season, the left side of the line has looked shaky. Veteran stopgaps have failed, younger linemen haven't developed fast enough, and opponents have started to key in on blindside pressure. Sanders, like many rookie quarterbacks, has a tendency to hold the ball while looking for the big play. That makes a reliable left tackle even more critical. Without one, the team risks stunting his development or, worse, watching him suffer a major injury that derails the future. 2.2 The Browns' Offensive DNA. Kevin Stefanski's system is predicated on balance, power running, play action, and designed quarterback reads. All of this flows from line play. The left tackle, often alone on an island against elite pass rushers, must be a stalwart. The Browns once thought Jedrick Wills Jr. would be that man, but injuries and inconsistency have eroded confidence. Now, the search is on for someone capable of anchoring the line for Sanders' formative years. Chapter 3. The Trade Blueprint. 3.1 Assets on the table. The Browns don't want to trade Sanders, but they do have other assets. Draft capital, mid-tier veterans, and even defensive depth could all be leveraged. An insider's look reveals 3 tiers of trade chips. Premium draft picks. Cleveland can't casually throw around first-rounders, but a second-round pick, or a package of Day 2 selections, is very much in play. Veteran players, positions like defensive end, linebacker, or even cornerback could provide surplus talent to swap. Andrew Berry has always valued defense, but he knows protecting his quarterback comes first. Conditional picks. Expect the Browns to sweeten any deal with pick protections, if-play escalators, and creative clauses. 3.2 Potential targets. Who's realistically available? Sources across the league hint at a handful of names. Garrett Bowles, Broncos. Denver is in rebuild mode, and Bowles has quietly become one of the more consistent tackles in the league. Cam Robinson, Jaguars. Jacksonville may not want to move him, but contract situations could force their hand. Jonah Williams, Bengals. A division rival, yes, but his name lingers in back-channel talks. Draft-proven gambles. Teams with young replacements may dangle veterans at the deadline. 3.3 The trade timeline. Timing matters. The Browns won't wait until Sanders takes a punishing hit to make a move. Expect them to push aggressively before the mid-season trade deadline. That's when selling teams become desperate, and buying teams must show conviction. Chapter 4. Locker Room Dynamics. 4.1 Veteran Buy-in. Protecting Sanders also protects the locker room. Veterans like Amari Cooper and Nick Chubb know that their careers will be defined by whether this quarterback can lead the team deep into January. Shaky pass protection is not just a scheme issue, it erodes trust. By making a bold trade for a left tackle, the front office signals to the roster, "We believe in Sanders, and we're building around him now." 4.2 The Deion Factor. Behind the scenes, Deion Sanders himself looms large. Though he won't run Cleveland's front office, his influence is undeniable. Deion wants his son to succeed, and he wants the Browns to commit. A visible move like trading for a cornerstone tackle would send exactly that message, silencing whispers about instability. Chapter 5. Why not trade Shedeur? It's tempting for outsiders to imagine Cleveland cutting its losses if Sanders struggles. But this thinking misunderstands the organizational psychology. Sunk cost logic. The Browns spent a premium pick on Sanders. The return on trading him now would be pennies on the dollar. Development window. Quarterbacks rarely peak in year one. Giving up too soon could haunt the franchise if Sanders thrives elsewhere. Ownership commitment. Jimmy and Dee Haslam are invested not just in wins, but in the narrative of turning the Browns into a modern, competitive brand. Sanders is central to that. Comparative examples. Look around the league. Josh Allen was raw as a rookie. Jalen Hurts took time. Even Patrick Mahomes sat his first year. Sanders' early bumps are normal, not disqualifying. Chapter 6. The Insider Buzz. Conversations among league insiders suggest the Browns' playbook is already in motion. Scouts have been attending games specifically to watch potential tackle trade targets. Front office staff have been crunching salary cap scenarios, analyzing whether restructuring veterans like Joel Bitonio or Myles Garrett could free up the necessary space.